Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is day 39 of the Bink or Bust online poker challenge. We have 3 tables event on 100 and running. And our bankroll is sitting at 6,500. I think that's peaked. 6,600 might have been peaked. We are up 4K in the last 39 days. Volume's a little bit low. That's NL50, NL100 mixed. So feeling pretty good overall. Okay, raise the ace king here. I think we're just gonna go for a check shove. We have backdoor spades, 2 overcards. He's gonna bet a lot of small pocket pairs here. He does have some 6, but the 6-7 being out there kind of blocks some of them. Okay, checks back. I think we're just gonna bet here now. Queen's not great. Spades is nice. Queen, he now has Queen X spades and King X spades. But we also block him from having Ace Queen and King Queen. So I think we just rip here with the Ace of Spades. I think we get called a decent portion of the time, but I think that's the proper shove. Snapped off. Okay, so checking to him. Swap to that. I don't think it's really a great call, but again, the issue with fish is that when you don't bet, they kind of just assume you're weak. So it kind of makes it harder to bluff on future streets. In that case, he had, called the 3-bet with Queen 8. And then turned the Queen, and which is like, we can have a 6, we can have aces, kings, ace, queen, king, queen. All those hands are in our range. But the flip side to that is that with the spades out there, how often do we do this? In reality, it's actually quite a bit because he's just betting a lot of his flushes, I think, and not checking them back. And we're gonna 3-bet the 9s. Okay, what happens? We're gonna call. And we'll check on the diamonds. We will fold to aggression here. Interesting. Okay. So the flop top set, we get raised. Kind of kills our action with this guy, so it's a bit annoying, but whatever. And I think at this point we're just trying to show down the 7. So anything but a 10 is basically dead. Well, we did make the right call on the flop. Unfortunately, he did check there. Pretty slow start to the morning. I think we're actually insta down like 2 buy-ins over like 10 hands. Came out a little bit, but yeah, down 150 to 100 hands. That's okay. Gave a little bit back to GFMLU. We were up about 5 buy-ins on him overall in the last days. And against ABBA, I think we're just going to have to triple barrel here a good portion of the time. I think when he snap calls the king turn, though, he's actually just not folding. And we are going to 3-bet the ace queen. We will raise the king jack. And I think if we sit heads up here, there's a good chance we can get the table to fill up. So I think we'll go ahead and try that. Okay, we'll check the king jack. Hold the 9-5. So overall though, bankroll challenge again has been going pretty good. We played and streamed yesterday morning for a quick one, and then last night we actually managed to get a bit of a stream in as well. We're just checking this board, unfortunately. Complete for us. Jack 8 suited. Guess we just hold out of position. And we'll raise the Ace 7 suited. GFMLU plays a lot of hands. He's also willing to call some portion of the time. That last hand with the 9 was a bit annoying, but this guy just shoved. It really does just kill our action from GFML. Okay, we'll raise the 7-5. Fold Jack 9. 3 bets. We just have a folding hand there. I think we're just going to min open 100%. Jack 7's pretty cuspy. Stream's a bit late starting today, so I'm really not sure how long it's actually going to run for. Everybody will kind of start making here. Checked out, and the issue with that is that if anybody runs onto camera, then the whole video will get blocked by YouTube. So you have to avoid that, unfortunately. Okay, he checks back. I'm going to 2x pot the turn when he checks back. Most of his range just folds. Limp pot 10-6. I think we'll just lead out here. 9-7 suited. He can 3-bets. I can definitely call here. Okay, flop second pair. That's good. He checks. We're just gonna check back. Can we one time in the last week not have this happen? Good lord. Got stuff getting so tilted lately. Just with the up and down, the break evens, it can get a little bit frustrating. When you kind of feel like you're just getting binked on or pushed in the spots where you just don't have a choice. But fold. Okay, good spar up. Check here. Check. Okay, we'll go half pot. Fold. Now let's go half pot again here for value. Should get called by King X a good portion of the time. So I think an important note, I can hear the little guy stirring, so we are going to keep the stream running. It's just going to be in and out with us actually being kind of on it. So I'm just going to dip for a minute and hopefully we can bring it back soon. Usually comes in and hangs out though, so it'll be hard to keep it going for too long, but we'll see what happens. As GMFLU check raises this, we call. Kind of seems a little spewy. Just look at this for a second here. Fold the ace 4. So Montana posts, he raises, we call. Check raises flop. I guess we just fold. Okay, fold 9-8. Okay, that's half pot. I think we'll check raise here. Kind of blocking some of the kings, some kings like King Jack, King 10. We're blocking Jack 9, Jack 10. Just comes backwards. So. It's very strange, to be honest. Then he blasts again. It's really strange to me that he would 3-bet the king. Yes. Well, we're getting stacked here because king, jack, king, 9, pocket 9s. But to me, on this dry board, when he's in position and I check raise, very, in my opinion, strange for him to have a king here. I think, like, you just call and just flops it. Alright, well, I think we probably just... It's too bad. This, maybe I overread that spot. Well, that is what happens when you start calling in these games. As soon as somebody's aggressive, you just have to. There's no overreading it. There's no this, there's no that. It's just like if they're betting, they just have it. And we do call here with the ace 4. We do 3-bet here with the aces. Steve Frank calls. Expect to check raise a good portion of time here in the bottom left. Right. Just gonna flip this off in 2 seconds. Hope we hold. Okay, well, we got out of that spew off here in the bottom left. Managed to pull ourselves out of it here with aces to save the day. Right, we're going to use that to re-zen a little bit here. We will squeeze the 10s. And then we're just going to check back the ace queen, the jack 3, fold king 9. Goes 3/4 pot. I think we'll call 1, the ace queen. Okay, take that down, bottom left. And I think we'll go small again here on the ace king. Calls. And then I think we're just folding. Probably has an ace a good portion of time, ace 10, ace jack, something like that. Could some portion of the time be low playing, chasing something. But yeah, we're just gonna let that go. It is a bit suspicious though, because last time he had the nuts, he just like raised, like 3-bet raised us. We check raised him small though. Ace 8 diamonds call. Definitely calling here with the 6s. Raise the jack 10. Defend here. And against ABBA, we just have to call down here. Perfect. Another station down for no reason. Okay. In position, we just call here trips. Turn a boat. River boat. Turn a boat, sorry. That's again, we call. In position against Arthur Reed, who likes to make a point. I think we just go something like that. I don't mind calling here, trying to Bink, because I think he will blast off on the river some portion of the time anyways. And I think we'll go small here, because I think it'll look more like a King X when we go small. And we're really only trying to fold out like Ace X, or like a pair of threes, or fours, something like that. I'm counting. I just gotta close this. Oops, let's click here, obviously. Just for 2 seconds, and then we'll be right back. So here, again, we're gonna check against this guy. Seems to be pretty unwilling to fold as soon as in a 3-bet pot once you check to him. Right. And we'll bet here. Raise the ace 10. He could have anything right down to pocket twos and keep calling against us. I think we're just gonna have to check fold it. Okay. Just pausing these games for a minute. Yes, this is a decent little climb out here. Made up for this terrible, terrible hand here. I still think that's a call, especially obviously on the river when we make it straight. But generally speaking, for us to check raise him and then him to click it back is like kind of crazy. I guess he just thinks have a king here, wants to put more money in the pot maybe, and just keeps blasting. I think it's a bit, considering I guess we were pretty deep. Should have been maybe more of a consideration was how deep we were, 140 bigs, and he needed to build the pot a bit maybe. Either way it works, however you want to look at it. Fold king jack, but yeah, see, this is what we fall into is we start giving people a little bit too much credit, and some of it comes down to this, just the V-pip alone. You know, when they have these crazy V-pips, and then we just start thinking they're super aggro, when in reality, they're kind of aggressive pre-flop, but when it comes to post-flop, they're just, you know, super straightforward. Sometimes willing to call a bit more and willing to bet a little bit bigger and this and that, but generally playing pretty fit or fold. Okay, we're gonna be out here. I'll be 2 seconds and we'll be right back. Okay, back for a little bit anyways. We're gonna raise the ace king, call the ace 2 suited. I don't really have any blockers on this. Checks back. Okay, we'll just stab at it once he checks back. And we ISO the aces. And we value bet. Okay, against Montana, I think we're going to bet, and if he calls, we'll check shove turn. Basically just targeting like 10s, jacks, 9s, something like that. Let's just see. Okay, so flops a jack, we flop nuts. Best hand all the way through. Are you count? Don't know if you can call that. Raise the ace 8. Queen 6 suited fold. I did like where I could sit out as much as I wanted to. I mean, he did just stack me for 150 bigs. King 9 offsuit. Okay, so we check back flop, and then he leads pretty small here on the turn. So I like to raise here. We definitely call some portion of the time, especially in position, but I think when he goes that small, it's actually going to fold a bunch. So I think betting is probably better, just because we're kind of, our equity's decreased with a flush draw out there. Fold, jack 7 fold. I gotta rip again here, real quick, and then we'll be back to the stream. We're back. For now. Okay. So, probably within a buy-in now, then. after station. Yeah, or whatever. Basically breaking with the up stack. No big deal. Ace 10 suited, button open. We will for sure be 3-betting that for value. And based on 4-bet sizing, I think, or if we call or fold, probably don't do a lot of 4-bet calling against him. I don't think he 4-bets wide enough. He goes small on this board. I don't super believe him. We do have some backdoors, but I think we can probably just fold the 9-10 there. Make sure the mic's back on, which it is. Raise the 8s. Okay. Check to him. Do a lot of checking from the small blind. So in this particular case, I'll do it again. We do a lot of check. Oh, that sucks. We do a lot of check raising. We do a lot of check calling. Checks back. Oh, we make quads. Unfortunately, when he checks back, he's just folding and calls. In the spades. You could argue checking some portion of the time there. Fold the ace 10, and king high is actually probably good here enough to just check. Once we go check, we should have actually just bet the turn, realistically. And he would have just folded, so that was just, I'm just doing something, so there's a little bit of distraction playing in there. Got suited fold, 10-6 off fold. But yeah, I think the bank relates. I was talking about this last night with somebody, but I think obviously the bankroll challenge will get progressively more difficult just by players getting better, which means we'll have to really focus in on getting more volume in. Let's check the tables here. Arthur Reed does table start. We have 6 up right now. 4 NL hundreds, 2 NL 50s. And we got 3-bet the extensions. We can fold here. We do 4-bet some portion of the time. It's not more than Montana. So I think we can just actually call the ace 10. Just because we have sort of a nittier fish here on our left. We don't expect to get much resistance very often. Which basically allows us just to kind of actually call in the small blind and realize equity. The biggest negative to calling in the small blind is that the big blinds are going to squeeze you a ton. So we want to try to avoid that whenever possible. So Montana checks back this flop. I think we could probably go small here. I don't think, because they're both fishy players and lines didn't raise pre-flop, he's going to play pretty straightforward. Where he's just going to be doing a lot of folding, kind of stuck in the middle here. So if he does raise or something like that, the odds of him having a hand or a bluff, I think, significantly goes down. I think one thing we need to be paying attention to is he does seem pretty aggressive post-flop when he does go. But that also could just be a factor of the fact that he's playing so tight pre-flop. But as a caller, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to pay attention a little bit to that, just to make sure our read on him is correct. Alright, everybody checks. I'm just going to check here as well. The issue with Ace, A7, ABBA, I don't know why I keep calling him ABBA, but ABBA here. I'm just going to bet because I don't have anything to win with, is that he's going to call so much. So it becomes like stabbing, I think, becomes a little more difficult three-way. When you have like an unknown, relatively tight player who could be checking all kinds of stuff, and then you have the Mega Whale who's calling everything. I think kind of just waiting for your hand, realistically, to a point, will pay off. Fold Jack 6, 10-7 suit fold. Ace Queen will be bumping up. The 9-3 suited, we're just going to let go. We will try to keep an eye on the table. Once if these two tables fill up, then we will join Arthur at the table. But right now we end up just stuck playing a bunch of heads up, which it's pretty high variance, you know. And if the skill levels are even sort of close, we're gonna 3-bet this, or 4-bet this, sorry. Fold Queen 4. Thing is, it's like 4-betting is nutted to a lot of people the way 3-betting used to be nutted to the old guys. You know, like way back in the day, it was like people were only, I think we'll squeeze here. People were only 3-betting like kings and aces, maybe queens sometimes, maybe ace king, but that was it, right? So 3-betting is something that was really strong. And now it's just something people do all the time with like massive variety of hands. This is insane here. ABBA probably calls every ace, which is an issue. There's no diamond out there. So I think it was a good opportunity to squeeze. Unfortunately, with 3 callers, probably a spot where anything but checking is bad. Okay. So, alright, well, let's just think here. I think we call the flush, draw. Makes a move, fine. 2, 3. Try an old 10% here, just for fun. Guess we fold our 2 pair against that 2x shove. Yeah, definitely. He probably just has block of queens even. Never raising, never stealing, never 3-betting. Yeah, it's a tough spot. He also could just have a 10 there. Doesn't want to draw and get, you know, voted out on or something. But it's never a bluff, and our king jack is probably never ahead. Excuse me. So, anyways, ace-5 suited, raise, just a clean, easy fold there with 2 pair. And we'll value bet queen. Okay, calls, and we'll check back turn. And if he leads here with the ace, we do have to call now. Beats some queens, we get the value bet as well. Okay. I think we'll call this time. Queen's mostly 4-bet. I think like 30% of the time there, they just call. Maybe even a little bit more than that. Cutoff, we'd 4-bet 100%. Queens. He bets. So we're going to have the advantage on this board. So he'll play pretty straightforward. Half pot here, I think, probably makes it less likely as aces or kings. I think he'd go a bit bigger on this board. It doesn't really matter. Like, we're just betting here for value. Like, we're basically targeting ace, king, tens, jacks, stuff like that. If he shoves, he probably just has pocket nines, and we can fold pretty comfortably. But I think, yeah, we block bet here for sure, and then he just has a nine. Or, yeah, because he's not shoving 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s. Let's give him a good luck. But he does tilt pretty quickly, pretty easily. And I just don't think he's ever bluffing there. He could bluff shove like ace king some portion of the time, because we would be doing a lot of check raising on the flop. And on the button, the sevens I think are mostly a fold, actually, out of position. Especially against a relatively tight player. So ABBA 4x opens. I think we just let that go. And we're just going to bet the ace 5, fold king 3, fold 9s. Do apologize for any sniffling. We do have a bit of cold. Okay, fold 7-5. We're definitely going to call the 5s here, because ABBA is going to call a lot. And even if he 3-bets and small, we can call. And yeah, so he goes really small here, so yeah, calling 5s is just super profitable. Anyways, or at least break even. At the very least, it's going to be break even here. Calling even 3 ways, I think, because that 3-bet's so small and there's so much in the pot already. And we just let that go. Could argue that, yeah, I think you're just getting enough odds and implied odds to call. If we were in position, it becomes significantly better. But at the very least, with the mega whale, you're gonna break even, right? And then people don't really stab enough, and they don't really bluff enough. So you kind of actually get to over-realize equity with like the small pocket pairs, because you're not just going to get the flop. There's a good portion of the time you're going to get the turn, and still a relatively good portion of the time you can get the river as well. So we did call one more bet, but we are probably not going to call another one. Yeah. How do you not know what the heck is going on here? How do you not shove that? I gotta throw one of these out there. Alright, we're gonna bet the ace 10. Fold the 10-4, fold the king deuce. Jack 7 will be a fold. 6s will definitely be a raise. Deuces, 3s, and 4s kind of become pretty break even. It looks like ABBA's starting to 3-bet a little bit extra here. It's not really a great call here, to be honest. Okay, we'll check to him. I guess full pot, right? Just fold. But again, against the mega whales, like it's probably at least break even there to make the call. Probably slightly EV because you do get to over-realize a good portion of the time. Limp snap raises, or limp snap calls. Interesting. I think we'll just check the 7s. And the 5-6 suited will call. Get the value bet now. And we'll go 10%. I like the 10% on the river. This gets called by ace high so often. Okay, and here we're gonna value bet. And we'll check back. So he like really tiny 3-bet. We called, pretty standard there. Flop bottom pair. The king is out there, but I think we still call here. Okay, that's interesting. Ace 10 suited raises, fold here. The thing is, it's just like Arthur raised, we threw bet. This guy cold called. So if Arthur had like, I think the reality is he's not going to do this with a set. He's not going to do it with a set. He probably has a lot of draws here. Could have some queen jack with spade. No, he can't project with spades. He has a lot of queen jacks and 10x. Yeah, I think we just have to click it in. Yeah, just 7/4. That's fine. It's been a long week of running into sets and stationing offers. But again, I think that's fine. I think in reality, it's like he has pocket fours, or he has like spade draws, king jack spades, queen in a spade draw. So I think probably have to call there. The shove's good. I think it makes it look like he is drawing. But yeah, I think that's fine. Call, obviously he's getting odds to call. He banked it, we banked the top pair with backdoor equity and stuff. So yeah, I just don't think there's anything you can do but call there. We'll be ahead enough of the time, and we can just call the button here. We do definitely 3-bet it a lot. I'm gonna bet twice here, just because even with GFMLU checking, Dizzy Kid calls. That's a little annoying. So when he calls, I think we just give up. Yeah, I don't see him folding. No, yeah, big call. I guess he's in the big blind. We just called the button. That's fine. For some reason I thought I'd 3-bet for a minute. Okay. We do ISO here with King Jack, and we do raise Queen 9 suited. But when he does call the Queen 9 off there, I think, yeah, it becomes sort of, what do you do? And I guess we just check his board. Okay, that's good. That's a good turn card. I think if we bet right away, he's going to fold. So I think I'll check the king, let him either bluff at us, or we'll do this and bluff river. Okay, ace queen needs to be squeezed. Check, 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 check. And we're just gonna bet half. I should probably even need to go half pot. Probably just go here. Okay. I guess we'll go small here. Fold a massive portion of the time there. We just block too much. Maybe check raising is the best, but I think in order to check raise, you have to think they're actually going to bet into you with bluffs, and on that specific board, I don't think it happens enough. Okay, we're going to check the ace here. We are going to double barrel when we pick the gut shot. And we'll check to him. It's back. And we'll just value bet river. If he raises, we just fold. You could argue maybe checking river is best, since once he checks back turn, he has like a lot of some portion of king x, although he's gonna have a lot of ace x as well. So betting is in reality probably the best. And we will raise the jack 9 suited, fold the ace 2 soft, 6-5. Wow, we can fold the jack 10. Jack 9 spades, I think. We were pre-flop raiser, we're just going to be checking this, and we'll have to check king 10 as well. King jack off, we can bump up. And he checks back, so we are just going to bluff into him with a big draw here. King jack off, we'll fold this time. He does call, we just have to give up here. The issue is when they check back and you 2x, the amount of times you get when they spike the turn, you'll get called a good portion of the time. But it's still, in the end, worth it. I'm not sure what he's going into the tank for. Still, like, maybe a jack queen or something. Fold the 6-4 suited. But the turn 2x, once flop goes check check, it's actually like super profitable. And I think we can just bet here against him. Arthur Reed, 3-bets. They're a little bit deeper, so calling becomes a little bit better. Right. We're gonna 3-bet the ace-jack off against him. Then we're gonna 3-bet the nice one suited. And we're gonna value bet here. Fold 3s against the under the gun open. 4-bet. We'll just let that go. Okay. And again, we're just gonna check here. Snap checks back. Respect king. Calls. And we'll value bet river. 5-handed ace jack off, definitely 3-bet. Yeah, he has like a king so often there when he snap checks flop, he's likely to have like face cards, I find. Because like low cards that have any kind of connection, people seem to be actually betting at decent frequency. Fold, check. Deuce 4, we can probably check the ace jack here. If he goes small, we can call. If he goes like half pot or bigger, probably just fold. We don't really have any backdoor equity other than 3-5. Ace king, we would check call. I think ace jack just is a check fold. Can you imagine that? No short fingers here, but yeah, I think ace king obviously can check call there. At least king, oh, king 4. Okay, I guess we're gonna check back the flop here. Okay, and then we're gonna bet turn. Calls, yeah, this is like number 1 line to get called 2 streets is like check back flop and then bet and if they have a king they get called and then air just folds it out. Yeah, we're gonna value bet the king here. Small blind versus big blind, pretty standard. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's like checking back the low boards and then bluffing like the kings queens is really good, but in spots like that where it's like 10-10 king and you check back and then you go bet that, you just get like called massively wide by weak players, not by regs. Because regs know people check back king there, people will check back 10s there, and regs know that. Fish don't. They just see you check and they think there's no way you're checking top pair or 10, and then they'll just call you down. In my experience, obviously it's not a working, it's not a works every time type thing. Like it does work enough. You get calls like that. You know, and paired boards too, like double paired boards and stuff. People max over call like this time. And we'll fold a 3 deuce. Okay, average checks back, so now we just start value betting. If he has a 4, that's fine, but other than that, I think we win. Man, get out of here. It's so annoying that this, like, that infuriates me. Like 6-4 offsuit, limp calls, or did we just check flop? What did we do? We rate. We didn't even play. It is frustrating. It actually is frustrating to see stuff like that sometimes, but again, that's what you want. This guy's like a huge whale. It just kind of sucks he's on our left and not our right, because it is harder to stack him. And check here, folding here, 3-betting here with the aces. Maybe a little big. 16 is actually probably a little big. It also does look more like ace king or something. We're gonna check here. He bets. We are gonna call. Check. So gross, man. The fact that we're gonna get stacked with aces here is like infuriating. Wonder if we check shove. Like, yes, we lose to 7, 8, 6s, 9s, 10s. We could have Could have flush draws, could have straight draws. Yeah, I think we just rip it in. I think we try to get called by jacks and queens and stuff. And we try to get called by like 6-7, 9-8, like with clubs, combo draws, all that kind of stuff. And then like slow play jacks or queens. It didn't 4-bet this deep. And like flush draws and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's basically, there's essentially two options here where we call the turn, and then we're pretty much like closing our eyes and calling river. Right? He can have ace 10, jack 10, queen 10, king 10 with diamonds. He can have like 9-8 with clubs. There's all kinds of combo draws there that could potentially call, for sure. Especially stuff like jack 9 suited, ace 9 suited. He's gonna have a bunch of pocket pairs. He's gonna have jacks and queens. So that's the kind of stuff we're targeting there with 8 when we check shove. Fold here with 2-5. That. I think if it wasn't double flush, we'd probably just check call. The other option is to just, if you think he's bluffing, which, he's bluffing a good portion of the time, but a lot of it's combo draw bluffs. I feel weird right now. A lot of it's like combo draws and stuff, so I'm going to value bet 6, fold by 3, fold the ace 3. I'm back and forth between shoving here. Turn our aces again. Just gonna raise those up. Anyways, to my point, I'm just trying to decide if I think shoving here is correct. It's definitely like a shove some portion of the time. And we're gonna 2x the aces here. Since we've been getting called a little bit more lately, I want to start strengthening that a little bit with some decent top pairs. Anyways, point being, it's either a check shove, or like just kind of check calling and then like basically check calling every single river. It's not like 7 of clubs, 8 of clubs, 8 of diamonds, 7 of diamonds, something like that, where just like everything kind of gets there. And then just like check folding those rivers and then check calling every single other one. So we raised pre-checked flop, we checked back. Turn, he went into the tank a little bit back, so I think we're going to value bet the 8 of hearts here. I think king of hearts, ace of hearts, 9 of hearts all bet turn. At least ace and king of hearts bets turn. I think most hearts are supposed to bet turn here. Let's do a quick update. Should be at least back to even now, I would think. Oh, we're still down 50 today. Even after that dip. Probably coming out of that. It must have been up here. We climbed out of it, and then we came all the way back down to negative 150, and then we climbed mostly back anyway. Alright, check here. Raise the queen 7 suit, raise the king 9, check here. And I think we can probably just value bet again against like a 7 or a king. If we bet, fold here, fold the back deuce, fold 9-8. Okay, he does call. And I think we're gonna bet again. I think when Abbott calls, like he's obviously squeezing ace queen, ace jack, ace king, aces, kings. So he's just not going to have a very strong, hand there. This is first hand. Just like him. You can already tell just by the way he's playing. If we had a mega whale in the big blind, You could probably start to argue that calling spots like that in the small blind are okay when you're never going to get bluffed. And with some equity, I think we'll stab here. Probably should just bet flop with our equity, actually. Because now it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get him to fold, like anything. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we'll let the chop happen. Fine with that. And here, we're going to go half pot. You go a little bit smaller, too, some portion of the time. But we have tons of equity. So we're just going to be relying on that and just kind of keep barreling. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we'll go for the 2x pot here, the open ender. Arthur Reed goes into the 10. Yeah. I don't know. I guess we just check. Yeah. Super annoying. Okay, we're gonna check the queens here. Ace queen. Oh wow. They got value bet the set against him. He called ace queen diamonds. Lots of 4-betting should happen there, but alright, that's good river. The jack 8. This guy, we just have to blast on this guy, basically. Okay, so he checks back this flop. And I'm going to bet, and then I'm going to bet big on the river, and I will fold to a shove. But once he checks back there, it's mostly overcards, I think, in position. Overpairs are still betting a good portion of the time. And we're going to 3-bet the ace jack suited. We're going to 3-bet the queen jack. We're going to value bet half pot with the ace. Fold here. We're going to value bet the ace king. I think we just go that shove against this guy. Here we can go small and then double barrel turn. So GFMLU and Arthur Reed actually seem to have a pretty similar style. I think they're a little maybe unstudied or inexperienced because their style can be hard to play against. There's certain guys who do it pretty decently. I think like they're more playing a ton of hands, but then overfolding too many spots or something. Imagine I misclicked that. That'd be crazy. 9-5 suited, I guess, is a fold. If you guys are watching the stream, make sure you leave a comment. Feel free to ask any questions about the challenge. Hit that thumbs up. It all supports the channel. Things at the channel have actually been going really good. So we are pretty happy about that. We're going to raise the jack 10 suited. And we're going to ISO here. Alpha Reed. 3 bets, we are calling that. King Queen off. We'll just call a few times. We'll call now and then with King Queen in the big blind. We do mostly 3-betting it. We ISO 3. We got 2 callers. I think we can just go small here. GFMLU will put straightforward. And we actually have some decent equity. So in this spot, when we get 2 calls, and with Docha White here, who likes to slow play monsters, we do call 1 here. Here, I think we'll value bet the jack. And I think we'll check back and try to hit river. Fortunately, we brick here. Do win here in the bottom left. And yeah, this, unfortunately, we just missed completely, so we just check fold here. Okay. I think we'll just think for a minute and check. You could argue block bet it. Actually, you know what I am going to do? Big blind with button, 10%. I like to use this in spots where, 1, it can force them to call really wide, or 2, we can do it now and then and kind of create a exactly. So he did. Yeah, I almost called there. Where we can. Okay, that's really good to know. Create like the desire to get them to bluff us. We're gonna cheat that ace. Come on, buddy. Pull the trigger. I'm gonna overbet. I think it's the only way we look bluffy here. No action. And I shovel. Oh, you bluff us and then check down. Ace King versus under the gun open, who's relatively tight. I don't mind just calling here. One, GTO does it quite a bit out of the big blind, and two, it does sort of strengthen our range to the other players at the table. Not that there's anybody that really matters about right now. Guess we just call. And he checks back. That's again. Value that here. Okay. And then we're just gonna check off. Oh, fuck sakes, man. Does anybody ever bluff? Ever? Is it ever not been business? The answer is no. The answer is absolutely no. It is always the nizzles. Alright, defend the queen six suited. It's not true, it's not always the nizzles, it just seems that way because that's what you remember. Oops, misclick. It's going to cost us his hand probably. The 10-8, guess we fold. It's actually probably call though. Queen Jack will fold. Only because that guy never raises. No, fold here. All the tables are dying here, which is unfortunate. Maybe we raise the king 7. And we're gonna go small and then just double barrel a bunch against this guy. In certain spots, I just don't mind taking things post flop against certain players that we think we have an advantage over. Okay, let's check here. Okay, raising Jack 10. I think we'll 3-bet the 8s here. Maybe a little big for a 50 big blind stack. Okay, fold the 10-5. Here we're going to c-bet. And we're going to raise the ace 6 suited. Looks like Arthur Reed has hit and ripped. Then we're going to check call the ace. Alright, so he checks to us again. So we're going to value bet. Or not value bet, we're definitely bluffing here, I guess, is what I'm getting at. Go for could be value betting some portion of the time if he just has like a pair, king of spades or something. But most likely, he just got like smaller pocket pairs, something along those lines. Now it becomes hard to bluff because when the board's double paired, then he's check called, then check called. Then he will have some like Jack 10 type hands. We just, you know, basically all of his like deuces to sixes, if he called those, are counterfeit and we win now. I mean, he has Queen X and Jack X that probably are not folding. Yeah, especially with King Spades. Now if we blasted there, we'd probably have actually gotten to fold the Queen. And maybe that should have been our target agenda. And here we are going to bet. It's going to be hard to keep up with multiple heads-up tables here, so probably going to be leading some of these. I feel like we just did. Yeah, whatever. When we do bet these low paired boards, you're going bigger, so bigger. call the ace high here, heads up. Okay, we get check raised. We're definitely calling that. Well, now we're done with the hand. We're playing double paired again. Okay, and we fold. And the queen on the river is going to be a value bet. It's king, got 5. Oh, all these moves are just dying with that. Ah, it's like completely dead. It is Friday morning or Saturday morning, so the tables are usually a little more dead in the AM. We're going to 3-bet, but we're only going to half this guy's stack. Obviously, we call if he shoves, but if he just calls, then we have an easy shove on the flop. And if Fun Mac calls, I suspect it's just like a small pocket pair. It's relatively unlikely that he's going to call like a king X, like king queen, ace jack type hand pre-flop. With that stack size, it's like if I'm just going to like shove it. Okay, GFMLU squeezes pretty big here. I'm actually not sure what to do in these spots. I think I'm just gonna probably just 4-bet, right? It's when you're 200 bigs deep, like I have no clue what is technically good. Because then if he shoves, it's like really gross. I think we have to bet small here. Thing is, he has a lot of aces that just call their pre-flop. What the hell is that? Nice. Yeah, and he's gonna be. I don't even know. I honestly don't even know. What could that be? Well, we can't call his 5 suited, so might as well just fold it. And Fun Mac rips the river. Checks flop, he leads, we call, and then he shoves. What does that? 6x? 6x probably does that. 7-8 does that. Seven, 8 does that. He raised, he calls, check, turn, bets, river rips it. What was the last thing we just finished saying? That it's never a bluff. They always have it. How often does he really lead? Like a 6. King, queen, maybe? I don't know, I'm calling, I don't believe it. Nice put together. I think a lot of people don't understand too is that like the big bets are polarizing for a lot of players. So when he's shoving there, it's like you have to have led a 6 on the flop. Just like, do you ever do that? Probably not. These two, so this is a perfect example of like a super hit, where you're folding everything to that bet. Even like 10s, I bet you fold a good portion of the time to that 3-bet. Okay, he checks. So this is a spot where we're gonna check back. 10's great. This is a spot we're gonna bet for value. Down, and we're just gonna rip river. Okay, flop top pair, fold the 8 deuce. He goes half pot, we call. Three-quarters pot. Raise the 10s. I think we can call one more here, but I am pretty suspicious of him. Yeah, just like snap bet, snap bet, snap bet. He could be bluffing some portion of the time there, but not a lot. 4s are just check. In position with ace 6, I think we're just going to bet big. Hope we do have an ace out there somewhere. And we'll check the ace-8 off. Did he like switch seats? Obviously calling here. Folding the 6-5. And we're just showing down the ace high. I guess we fold our 10s to the lead-in. Fold king jack. You definitely argue that the odds of her leading out an ace there, or a king, or a queen are pretty low, but I think that's fine. Okay, we got 3-bet here, 200 bigs deep. We will be calling the 4s, and I feel like it'll be a 4 on the flop. Not today. And he pretty quickly bets. We just fold though. It is worth. Oh. No, don't say that. Don't say that. I wonder if we are supposed to call there for 1. 8, 16, 24 in position, king 3, 3. I don't know. I feel like we probably are supposed to fold most of the time. I feel like he left and came back with a spewy little vengeance. Yeah, because he definitely was on our right before. Okay. We'll be folding the queen 3. I think we just go small here. And we brick bottom right, so we check. Yeah, so you just like on a vengeance maybe here. Probably we're up, but definitely the last 3 hands have not gone away. That's fine. Fold the ace 6. I think we're probably going to leave the bottom left here shortly. I know we've talked about this before, but 3-handed play, and this guy's like either tilted or something here. Gone into like super aggro mode. It's interesting. Guess we call 1. That we're calling. That would be queen 10, beat 7 10, beat 10 7. Queen 3, 10 3, 7 3. Lose to 7s, 3s, 10s. Flush draw might keep bluffing. Ace king, king jack might keep bluffing or value betting now. But the thing is, with the nizzles, it doesn't matter what you have. When these guys are blasting, they just always have it. Not this time. For the first time, I've been wrong. Seeing that, it's funny that he bets there, because like that's the spot where you're supposed to give up. Because you're blocking a bunch of stuff you want me to have. You want me to have the 8-9. You want me to have the club draws. You want me to have like 10-9, queen 9, like weak pocket, like weak pairs with a draw kind of thing. So that's like a hand you're supposed to give up with. And then hands like, you know, you'd want to call with, keep blasting with would be like, on this board with that king, it gets a little bit harder. Most of your hands just get more value. I don't even know what bluffs you're supposed to have here. Mostly just value. Like Jack X type hands, I guess. Ace X type hands, stuff like that that block Ace Jack and Ace Queen. King Jack, you want those types of hands, I guess, to be bluffing with. For the most part. Anyways. Fold 10-9. Fold 8-7, King 4 fold, 10-7 fold. This is probably just a check here. Realistically, 3-handed. Thing is, people were overfolding. So, but yeah, you can run into that, but it is difficult for him to have a really strong hand there. For like sets, I guess makes sense. Fold 10-3. Let's just see. Basically break even. I was gonna say we'll probably just break even against him today, which should most likely It looks like we traded our Mega Whale for this guy, which is not as fun. I think I'll just bet turn, bet river. Try to fold him off of like a 9. King Queen off. Guess we fold that. 8-3 will fold. Ace Jack we 3-bet pretty much always. I feel like this guy is a little bit tilted right now, so I'm gonna play a little bit cautiously with some mediocre hands. It's still gonna be plus EV to call, but we're not gonna get sort of burned off of our value against him by him like 4-betting a bunch there. Although a hand like Ace Jack off would be decent to just you know 3-bet. And if we do think he's actually going to do that a bunch, then we should be shoving more. The 10-7 suited will come along. I think the whole of the table product comes along. Yes, sir. Okay. Check the 8-9. How many hands have we actually played here today? 800 hands or break even, yeah. Fold the 8-9. Yeah, so I think check the King Jack. I think there's only one hand that I really didn't like off the hop, and that was I don't. I still think it's crazy that he would 3-bet there, but we were so deep, so it makes sense. Obviously, when we make it straight on the river, we're just calling. But yeah, I still think it's crazy for him to 3-bet in position there when I check raise when he has King 9. Like he's literally blocking me from having everything. I just happen to be feeling stationy today, that time, that moment. Okay, interesting. I think we just double barrel here. And I think we just check river. Okay, cool. Check the ace here. Okay. Guess we value bet now. We just value bet small, basically targeting like Jack X. Right, table's filling in. It's a little bit better. Fold here, fold here. Against 2 fish, yeah, we're just gonna be like probably raising almost everything. Because we're just gonna be able to basically outplay them post flop, make some money that way. Okay, fold here. We'll just take a flop with the 3s, I guess. Ace 3 suited, we raise. 7 deuce raise. Check the 3s. Fold the Jack 6. Okay, interesting. Guess with the bet and the cold call. I mean, I think we probably just need any reason to play a hand against this guy. 80 VPIP. I know it's over a small sample, but he's basically playing all of his hands. Okay. Fold here. That's kind of like the worst case scenario, to be honest. Half call. Take it. play. Okay. I would just call that. Yeah, so that's a squeeze pre. FYI. That should not be a call. From the big blind, we should be squeezing that almost always. And we're just dodging an 8 here. Sure, we can red twice. Okay. Interesting. Fun mock bets, we're just kind of stuck folding, I think. Yeah. It's hard to hero call here with a third player behind. It's a tough one there. Okay, we're gonna bet here with the flush draw and bottom pair. We're gonna blast turn too. And I'm gonna bluff raise here with gut shot in position. Definitely, I like to check some GTO stuff on bluffing out of like in position, because most of your really strong hands call. So, like when you're in position, right? Like if you're out of position and this is like ace king 3 and you have pocket 3s and you're out of position, you check raise always pretty much. But in position, you have pocket 3s and they bet calling significantly more often. So this should look into that for sure. Okay, fold raise queen 9, fold here, fold 10-3. Probably going to be ending the stream here shortly. Okay, raise here. We got 3 bets. So we are calling the king queen suited, and we're probably just gonna shove. We can probably call here some portion of the time. He goes really small. Interesting. Not actually sure what to make of that small bet. Oh man. King jack suited. So what happened here? Yes, but text her first. Okay. Or message her first. Definitely squeezing the king jack suited. Yeah, this hand is weird. Like this is supposed to be a big bet if you bet at all. And then like to bet small and then check felt so trappy, but I think we have to bet there because if we check river, it's gonna be hard to get him to fold like tens, something like that. So we need to like bet. Maybe checking back's okay. Not really sure to be honest. Okay. So in position, I think we're gonna. Out of position, we probably just check too, or whatever. I don't think anybody folds an ace, so I just think we have to check down here and hope we can get the showdown. This will be the last hand. Just hit that sub button. I'll see you in the next one.